welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and my very exciting journey from full-time teacher to full-time Etsy shop owner and YouTuber. So if that is something that you think you would like to see, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. In today's video, we're going to do the weekly check-in for the last week of July, and then we are going to close out the July budget, including filling out the Where Did My Money Go page in this workbook, which I have never done before. This is the first week. But before we get to that, I just want to quickly let you know what I'm using today. I'm using a Plum Paper notebook. I'm using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I'm also using her, is it called Filofax? Yes, I'm using her Filofax to hold my cash envelopes, which we will get to a little bit later. I am using these cool retractable markers from Amazon, as well as this erasable pen from Amazon. It's a Pilot Friction. I like using erasable pens when I do my budgeting because I just make so many mistakes. So it's nice to be able to erase them. And I'm also using category budget stickers from my friend Cara Jo Plans Etsy shop. There is a link to her shop and everything that I just mentioned down in the description box below. If it's not listed separately, then it's probably on in my Amazon storefront. And then the other stickers you see today are from my Etsy shop. Anytime I have a discount code, it is also listed with the links below. So I always start with the expense tracker, and the way I use her workbook is I use one page of one expense tracker per week. So this is probably the smallest week I've ever had because we are now doing cash envelopes. So there wasn't a lot that came out of the account, which is actually really fun and exciting. I like that. I mean, look at our weeks from before. Much, much longer. Oh, that's our budget that we're gonna look at today. Okay, so let's go to the monthly spread and put down that one thing that we bought. So this week I did get a car wash and it was $10. So we had one miscellaneous expense for $10. Well, you know what, actually also the reason why this week is pretty light is because it's the 5th week. So like there's no bills due, there's no debt due. These are all cash envelopes, food, gas, medical, and this is sinking fund. So that's why there's not very many stickers this week, in addition to the fact that we're doing cash envelopes now. Okay, so let's take a look at this week's budget and just break down how it all worked out. When we started this week, we had a rollover from last week of negative $406. We transferred $406 from our savings to bring that amount to zero. So that was the actual amount of those two items. I'm so sorry for the fly that keeps buzzing around. You know, my office is like, it's a sunroom and it goes to the back porch and bugs just get in because we open and close that door all day long. Okay, YouTube and Etsy, it was actually $624. That was the actual amount that it was. So bringing our total to $624. So I didn't budget for any bills and there were no bills that came out. So let's go down to our variable expenses, which were actually cash envelopes. We started with $624, and this is how I've decided how to do this. We didn't actually spend $200 on food in our house, so I'm going to track the amount we actually spent here in this notebook when we count the cash envelopes. But for my budget purpose, I'm just going to mark the amount that we took out and put in the envelopes, because when we have extra money left over in our envelopes, we're going to take that money and put it towards our sinking funds. In order for me to not have to do substitute teaching at this point in time, we had to eliminate sinking funds. So to make up for that, we're trying to spend a little bit less than what we budget for here, and then using the extra to fill those sinking funds. So that's where we're currently at. So these amounts are exactly what we said they were going to be because we took them out of the account in cash. The money is gone from the account. So that is $300 for a total of $324 for our rollover. So before we get to the cash envelopes, let's look at where my money went this month. So since this was my first time using this worksheet, I did do it off camera so I could figure out how to do it. It's actually very easy to use because you already have all the information down here. So it's a matter of taking it from there and putting it over here. So for example, bills. She has the monthly budget and then the monthly spent. So the way I did that for the budget is I went to each week. Okay, so I went to each week and I highlighted the bills in purple, the budgeted amount. These didn't come out. So see, I highlighted them in purple, all of the bills. And then I wrote that amount here. Then to find the amount that I actually spent, it was super easy. I went to my weekly expense trackers, and this is the amount I actually spent that week on bills. So then I just had to add these totals together. So that one, and then I got my monthly spent. So let's just go over each category quickly. So for bills, there was a positive difference of $10, meaning we spent 14% of our total monthly income on bills. For debt, we had a difference of positive 50, and I know exactly what that is. Our house payment was lower than we expected because I believe our property taxes went down. I think that's why it went lower, and my student loan payment didn't come out. So next month it's gonna come out twice. I thought I had it on auto pay, but auto pay wasn't set up. So I had to so I'm going to have to pay it do 2 months payments at once. Okay, so 33% of our income went to debt. Food, 24% of our income went to food. We were over budget by $333 this month. And it really happened the first 2 to 3 weeks because the 4th week we did a pantry challenge where we didn't buy any groceries, and then the 5th week we did a cash envelope. So that was exactly our budget, which was $200 on that 5th week. So it was really those first few weeks. So 24% of our budget went to food, 3% went to gas, 15% went to miscellaneous. We usually don't spend that much of our income on miscellaneous, but we had 2 big birthdays. We had David's birthday, we had my birthday, we had visitors for the first time in over a year, so we did some extra things with them. We bumped this part of our budget up to $1,000. We only spent $796, so we were actually positive $204, but our total percent of our monthly budget was 15%. Medical was 1%. We were under budget by $100. Sinking funds, we were exactly what we budgeted, and that's 5% of our income. And then we had a rollover amount left over at the end of $314. So, this would be a positive amount of $314. Which is 6% of our income went to rollover. So this was a very interesting worksheet. I'm not really sure I'm going to do this information yet, but I guess I can just, if our focus is paying off debt, we want to make sure that the majority of our percent's going to debt, or we could see like 24% of our budget's going to food. Maybe we don't want that much of our budget to go to food. I don't know. I'll take a little more time to decide what I want to do with this information. Let's move over to the cash envelopes. So this is the first time where we're using cash envelopes and this note page. So this is how I'm going to do it this week, and I might change it next week. I don't know. This is how I decided to do it for this week. First, I'm going to write down the amount we budgeted. We budgeted $200 for food, so we put in our food envelope we put $200 last week. So for gas we budgeted $30. Miscellaneous we budgeted $20. Oh wait, no, we didn't budget anything for miscellaneous this week, so that would be $0. And then medical, we brought our budget down to $25. We used to budget $50, but as you could see when we did the monthly check-in, we were not spending all of that on medical. So I've decreased that budget, that category. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do my check-in. I'm going to actually count the money and see how much we actually spent. So I don't track my spending here. That's my money to spend the way I want. Logan gets $5 a week, so he got his $5. Okay, so let's look at food and house. That's the first category. So we put $200 in here last week. And you guys, this just doesn't work for me, okay? I don't know. I know, it just doesn't work for me. I don't need this. So I'm just gonna set it aside. Maybe I'll use it in the future. I'd rather just count what I actually have and not worry so much about the card. This cash is for my stuffing that I'm going to do when I set up my budget, which will actually come out tomorrow. Okay, so food and house. We budgeted $200. Let's see how much we have left. 20, 40, let's see. I like to organize these. There we go, like this. Okay. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 76, 78, 79. I'm just going to double count. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 76, 70. Wait. 75, 76, 77, 78. Okay, so $78 is left over. So 200 minus 78, that's $122. So we spent $122 on food and house last week, which left us with a positive balance of $78. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in here, and then at the end of the month, next month, which would be August? Yes, at the end of August, anything that's left in this envelope will go towards sinking funds. But we're going to do that at the end of August. Okay, so last week we were at negative $333 for the month in that category. And now we're over $78. So we're negative $255 in that category for our monthly total. Okay, gas, we budgeted $30. Let's see how much we actually spent, or how much we have left. So we have 6 left. I think that's $24. Yeah, so we spent $24, leaving us with a positive balance of 6. Okay, so miscellaneous, we don't have an envelope for miscellaneous. We ended up spending money, but it just came out of our account. You would have seen that on the pages we just did. So difference of 0, and we were at a positive 214 last week, so we're still positive 214. Let me take a look at gas. So we were negative 5. Oh, so now we're positive $1 in that category as far as our budget goes. Again, this money is going to go in here until the end of August, and then we'll pull out anything extra and we'll put it in our sinking funds. Okay, medical. $25 is left. So we didn't spend anything on medical expenses. We still have positive amount of $25. Last week we were at positive $196. So 196 plus 25. So we're positive $221 in that category for the month of July, which is why I've decreased that category. Obviously, we don't need that much in that category. So we budgeted, let's see, let me put this back first. Okay, so that would be $255. So we budgeted $255. Let's see how much we spent. $122 and $24. We spent $146. So $255 minus $146. That's a positive amount of $109. So we had $109 left over in our envelope. So just double check. 78 plus 6 plus 25. 109. Okay. So let's see how we ended the month. Last week, our monthly balance was a positive $72. So let's see where we ended. So we start with negative $255 in that food category. We're going to add 1. We're going to add 214. And we're going to add 221. So we ended the month with a positive amount of 181. Okay, good. Okay, so I did add an extra envelope back here this week because, so what we're doing for our variable expenses is we're taking my Etsy check, because I get paid once a week from Etsy, and whatever I get, that's how much we can distribute between food, gas, and medical. But when I make more than what we need for those categories, then the money will go in here, and it'll just be extra money that can be used in one of the categories throughout the month if we need it, or we'll go to our sinking funds at the end of the month when we add all of our extra money together. Okay, this was so fun to budget this way. So I'm looking forward to continuing this journey and this process. I hope you will continue along with me. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I hope you come back tomorrow and join me when I set up my August budget and deposit the cash into these envelopes for next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.